Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So a few hours ago, the draw for Champions League group stage 2022-2023 season was just out. Undoubtedly the best football tournament at club level, and I'm just super pumped for this year. So in this video today, I want to give a little bit of analysis and my thoughts on the 8 groups that we have this year. So let's get right into it. For Group A, we have Ajax, Liverpool, Napoli, and Rangers. I think as a Liverpool fan, I'm quite happy with this draw, to be honest. I mean, Liverpool obviously are struggling really bad in the Premier League, but I think Ajax and Napoli are not like too big of an opponent for Liverpool, in the sense that yes, they may be able to pose some challenges along the way, but they're not like title contenders or anything. So if Liverpool play it right, I think they can come out on top, which is exactly what they've been doing in recent years in Champions League. So yeah, I think that Liverpool should be able to handle this group. For the side of Ajax and Napoli, I think it's a really 50-50. I mean, with the departure of Erik ten Hag, nobody really knows how good Ajax will be in the next few months. And Napoli is even a bigger X factor because I think they've been absent in the Champions League for 2 seasons, and Italian clubs at this point are really dark horses in the Champions League, because of how different Serie A is compared to like the other top European leagues. So I don't have too much information on Napoli either. So I think it is really close. For Rangers, I don't think there's any competition at all. At best, they should try to go for the number 3 position so that they can continue to play in the Europa League. That is their best bet to play European football after the group stage. I'm afraid that is the case for them. Okay, so moving on to Group B. This is a really interesting one. We have FC Porto, Atletico de Madrid, Leverkusen, and Club Brugge from Belgium. So last year, Porto and Atletico were in the same group with AC Milan and Liverpool, and only Atletico was able to get out of group. This year, however, I think that is a much easier group for both Porto and Atletico, and Atletico should be able to get the top spot easily. The I think the second position in this group should belong to Porto, because Leverkusen has been a disaster in Bundesliga. 3 games and only 1 point. I mean, it's only a few weeks into the season, but there seems to be a lot of issues at Leverkusen, and FC Porto, they better capitalize on that. Club Brugge, I think that they were in the same group with Man City, PSG, and Leipzig last season, and it didn't turn out too well for them. So I don't think this year is gonna be any different from last year. So my money will be put on Atletico and Porto to make it out of group. For Group C, we have AC Milan, Chelsea, Salzburg, and Dinamo Zagreb from Croatia. I think for this group we really have like a clear division between the 2 better teams and the 2 worst teams. In particular, AC Milan and Chelsea should have no problem, outplaying the other 2, because AC Milan are, on theory, the best team from Italy, and Chelsea just won the Champions League 2 seasons ago. I know that there's a ton of issues right now with Chelsea, especially after that humiliating 3-0 defeat against Leeds, but they should be fine. I mean, I don't see any way that Salzburg and Dinamo can be a threat to either Milan or Chelsea. For Milan, I don't have as much confidence in them as I have for Inter, in the sense that Inter, they they try to play attacking football with a technical element to their game, whereas AC Milan, I think their play style is more suitable for Italian football in particular, in the sense that they rely on their few superstars on the attacking line, and also their solidity in defense, rather than like a solid modern philosophy of football. So that can be a problem for AC Milan. They were really, really bad result wise last year in the Champions League. They finished dead last with only one win. I think that they're gonna do better this year, and I think they're gonna make it out of group. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know if they can go any further. So, as I said, Milan and Chelsea should be heads and shoulders above the other two teams, and they should get the two top spots easily. Okay. Oh, sorry, that is Group E. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Anyway, coming to Group C, we have Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Inter Milan, and Victoria Plzen from the Czech Republic. That is undoubtedly the group of death this year, when we have three elite teams from top European leagues: Bayern, Barcelona, and Inter. I think based on the performance that the three teams have showcased in the last few weeks, Bayern should easily be the best team on paper. I mean, they have been consistently one of the best teams in Europe in the last decade, and they were always giving other teams so much trouble in the Champions League, and they just won the title 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I guess. And this year, even though they lost Lewandowski to Barcelona, I don't think Bayern is any weaker. As a matter of fact, they just added Matthijs de Ligt to their backline, and I think that is a really quality signing from Bayern, because we all know how vulnerable Bayern's defense was last season, and that is the Achilles heels that cost them the tie against Villarreal in the quarterfinal. So this year, with the presence of Sadio Mane and Matthijs de Ligt, I think Bayern should be like the top three, top four teams to win it all. And as long as the players stay injury free, as long as their schedule is not too heavy, I think Bayern will make it far this year, at least to the semi-final. Barcelona, I don't know. I mean, they have one of the best summer transfer windows ever. I mean, even though they were still deep in debt, they signed Rafinha, Koundé, Lewandowski, Kessie, and Christensen. I mean, all great to world-class players. So this year, Barcelona has insane squad depth, and with the management of Xavi, I think they are supposed to be much better than last season. I would expect Barcelona to try to go for, I don't know, at least the La Liga or the Copa del Rey. For Champions League, I think they should aim to go as far as possible. I think getting out of group is achievable for them, even though, as I said, this group is really hard for them. But I think I will have them as the second best team in this group. For Inter Milan, I mean, last year their Champions League campaign was not too bad. I mean, they got knocked out of the round of 16 by Liverpool, but it was only a one goal difference, and Inter Milan even won over Liverpool at Anfield, and it is really tough, to get a victory at Anfield, but they managed to do it. This year, with the return of Romelu Lukaku and with the remaining Inter players, I don't think they lost anyone too significant. I think Inter should be fine in the Serie A. The Champions League should be a different story. I don't know how good they are compared to Barcelona. I mean, I'm not gonna compare them with Bayern because obviously Bayern is like a far superior team, but compared to Barcelona, it could really be a 50-50, and the two games that the two teams play against each other will be really decisive to which team will make it out of group. So even though I think that on paper Inter Milan squad is slightly worse than Barcelona, I don't think the difference is big enough to make Barcelona a clear favorite. I mean, it all comes down to the form of the two teams and the execution of the tactics on that particular day when they play against each other. So it is really a 50-50 call for me. But as I say, I will go with Bayern as first and Barcelona as the second, and Inter Milan will finish right behind Barca, but it will be close. Okay, moving on to Group D, we have Eintracht Frankfurt, Tottenham Hotspur, Sporting from Portugal, and Olympique Marseille. That is easily the most boring or the worst group this year in terms of the team quality. I mean, you cannot call any of these teams title contender by any means. So yeah, it sucks big time. But I think there's always at least one group like this every single year, and this year this is Group D. So I think Spurs it should be called the heavy favorite from this group, because even though Frankfurt won the Europa League last season, we all know that there's a huge difference between Europa League football and Champions League football. And Spurs this year, they look pretty good in the Premier League. I mean, they were also solid at the beginning of last season, but they just got worse as the season progressed. I hope that is not the case this year for Spurs though, because they have a really great coach, Antonio Conte, even though he doesn't have a good record in the Champions League. But I think that with the players that he has in his hands, it is really good for his counter-attacking philosophy. And if Son and Kane can combine to form a lethal duo as usual, I think Spurs should easily clinch the first spot in this group. The other three teams I think are really equal in their quality, and there's gonna be a really hard fought battle for the second spot. I mean, I'm talking as if Spurs have never bottled ever before, but we never know. Maybe Spurs will suck big time and will not even make it out of group. I'm not gonna be too surprised if that happens. But anyway, my prediction is that Spurs will finish first comfortably, and I just don't have too much information about the other three teams, so I'm just gonna make a wild guess and go with Frankfurt at the second spot, because after all they're still the Europa League winners. And moving on to Group F, we have Real Madrid, RB Leipzig, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Celtic. Okay, so this year we have two teams from Scotland, Celtic and Rangers, which is pretty rare if you watch Champions League football long enough. But I think for this group, Real Madrid should easily be the best team, and they should destroy the other three teams. The eternal kings of Champions League football, the reigning champions of the Champions League and the La Liga. I mean, the expectations are sky high for Real Madrid, and they also signed Chouameni, a really promising young talent from France, and also Antonio Rudiger. I think at the moment the one of the best center backs in the world, and I don't think they lost. And oh yeah, they did lose Casemiro to Man United, but Valverde is a really great midfielder because of his work rate and his passion for the team. So I don't think there's going to be a big problem for Real, losing Casemiro at the midfield. The other players, however, did edge quite a bit. I mean, in particular, Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, and Karim Benzema. But for the first two games in La Liga, they still look solid, especially Modric, who scored a banger last game. So they should be fine in this group. For the second spot, I think I'm going to go with Leipzig, another German club, because I don't think Shakhtar or Celtic is up for it. Celtic has been absent from Champions League football for quite a while, and Shakhtar is never known for this. It's never known in this tournament, so I think I'm gonna go with Leipzig. Okay, moving on to Group G, we have Manchester City, Sevilla, Borussia Dortmund, and Copenhagen from Denmark. Okay, so I mean, Man City, as always, is the favorite to win the Champions League this year. I mean, they have it all, a world-class manager who's won everything except the Champions League outside Barcelona. They have a ton of great players, the best midfielder in the world, Kevin De Bruyne, and also one of the best young strikers right now, Erling Haaland. Their squad looks ridiculous, in terms of depth and quality. And I mean, on paper, they have been the favorite in the Champions League for at least the last 3 or 4 seasons, but somehow they still find a new way to bottle it, and they just crash out of Champions League in the most improbable way possible. I don't know what it takes for Man City this year to win the whole thing. I don't know what the problem is really, because as I said, there's just no good explanation for Man City's exits in the last few seasons. It is one of those things that you love about football. Sometimes it doesn't make sense, even when your team is really really good, but they just cannot find a way to win. For this year, I have high hopes for Man City, of course, and I don't think they will, not be able to get out of group. That would be really stupid. So my money will be on Man City finishing first in this group. The second spot should be the contest between Sevilla and Dortmund. I don't really know. To be honest, I mean, Sevilla had a really great season. In last year in La Liga, they finished fourth, I believe. But they're more famous for their Europa League titles. So I don't really know. But Borussia Dortmund is even more unpredictable in the sense that they just bottle it again in the Bundesliga. I think they were like the first team to lose after being 2 goals up after the 89th minute, which is really stupid and unbelievable. So I don't know. I think they have Dortmund have better players compared to Sevilla, especially Jude Bellingham. I mean, one of the most interesting prospects from England. But given the unpredictable nature of Dortmund, I don't really know. But because I really like Dortmund, I hope that they can finish second in this group. Okay, so lastly, we have Group H with the presence of PSG, Juventus, Benfica, and Maccabi Haifa from Israel. Oh, it's been a while since I last saw them in the Champions League. Anyway, for this group, I think it should be the competition between PSG and Juventus. PSG so far look really really frightening in Ligue 1. I mean, they scored 17 goals in only 3 games. Their trio up front, Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi, have been on fire. They score and assist a ton of goals, and that numbers is really ridiculous. I mean, there's been a bit of drama between Mbappe and Messi and Neymar, but I mean, if they figure it out, to this day, I still believe that PSG's front three is the best trio in the world at the moment. It's not even close. But I think the bigger problem for PSG, and the thing that they should be working on if they want to win the Champions League, is their mentality and their level of focus on the competition. Because in Ligue 1, the so-called Farmers League, sometimes things are too easy for them, and they just take it easy a little too much, and they just don't maintain a high level of focus that is required in a top level tournament like the Champions League. So that is something, or I think that is the only thing that PSG should focus on if they want to win the Champions League. The ability or the mentality to give their everything, no matter the score, like no matter the opponent. That is the biggest problem at PSG right now. And if they can work on that, and if all the 11 players on the pitch can put the benefits of the team above themselves, then I think PSG should be like the top three teams, one of the top three teams to win the Champions League this year. For the second spot in this group, I think it should be between Juventus and Benfica. I mean, even though Juventus is a team with a lot more heritage than Benfica at this tournament, I still have a lot of doubt about this football club, to be honest. Especially after what they show in their first two games in La Liga. I mean, Allegri's philosophy of football is honestly really outdated and regressive, even in a sense that they never try to play attacking beautiful football, and they just try to sit back, park the bus, and don't really have a clear idea of how to move the ball forward, and they are not efficient either. I mean, when you think about Italian teams, you always think about a solid defense and the ability to launch deadly counter attacks. But I don't think we can say the same thing about Juventus. They look really clumsy on the attacking end, whether they're in possession or they're trying to counter attack. So I don't know. It is really a mess at Juventus right now. Their players. I mean, they just signed Paul Pogba and Angel Di Maria, but whether they are enough for Juventus to do something big in the Champions League, I don't think we got the answer yet. But anyway, I think that they should be able to finish above Benfica in this group. So yeah, my money will be on PSG finishing first and Juventus being the second team in this group. Yeah, so that is my complete prediction of the Champions League group stage this year. I think I will make a reaction video once the group stage finish, and hopefully I can get more than half of my predictions correct. Yeah, I guess this is the end of my video. See you in the next one.